Understanding Spirituality and Spiritual Gifts. The video I'm about to make is quite serious because I will discuss spiritual matters, specifically spiritual gifts. The first question here is, what is spirituality? Do we become spiritual beings when we go to church, or are we born as spiritual beings? Is spirituality just what the religious system taught us, going to church, giving offerings, and obeying certain rules? The truth is, we are spiritual beings by nature. We are born as spiritual beings. You didn't become spiritual when you converted in church. You are already spiritual from birth. If it weren't for that, you wouldn't even exist. You were already spiritual the moment you were born. As spiritual beings, we have spiritual gifts. The biggest problem is that the concept of spirituality presented to us is often tied to negative things, such as fear, persecution, and demons. Why do I say this? Because of the subconscious ideas sold to us for years in the churches. When someone first encounters spirituality, they often go to church and hear prophecies about persecution, attacks, and negative things happening to them. This creates an atmosphere of fear within them, and fear is a powerful tool to make people surrender their power and become fragile. When you give up your power, someone else gains control over your life. But the truth is, we all have spiritual gifts, and some of us activate them more easily than others. These gifts are inherent in us, not something we receive only after going to church. Our bodies, for example, are not just limited to the five senses: taste, touch, sight, and hearing. We also have spiritual senses. Now, many people ask questions like, can I see spirits? Can I sense their presence? Can I dream of deceased loved ones? Can I foresee events that are about to happen? If you've had such experiences, you are not abnormal. In fact, these experiences are entirely normal. You are a spiritual being, and these gifts are part of who you are. People often get confused by their spiritual experiences because the church teaches them to associate everything with demons or persecution. When someone dreams of a deceased loved one offering guidance, the church often labels this as demonic. This is because they have been conditioned to think of spirituality only in terms of fear and negativity. Spiritual gifts are not limited to church teachings. We all have the ability to see, sense, or predict events. Some people have quicker access to these gifts than others, but everyone has the potential. When children are vaccinated, for example, some lose access to their spiritual gifts because they are not nurtured or trained to use them. The real issue here is that many children born with spiritual gifts are labeled as possessed or evil. Instead of being nurtured and guided, they are judged negatively. But you are not sick, and you are not abnormal. You are a spiritual being with a gift that needs to be understood and developed. In the past, spiritual issues were handled within families. Aunts, uncles, and grandparents would guide the younger ones in how to deal with spiritual matters. Today, these teachings are often replaced by religious leaders who, although they may mean well, do not always understand or teach the true essence of spirituality. You are not crazy, and you are not possessed. If you experience things like seeing spirits, predicting future events, or feeling the presence of those who have passed away, it is normal. The problem is that we are not being taught to understand and control these gifts, and that's where the confusion comes from. The key is to understand that everyone has spiritual gifts. Some people activate them more easily, and others don't. But it's important not to be afraid of these gifts. You don't need to label yourself or others as sick or possessed. You need guidance on how to use your gifts for your benefit and the benefit of others. I, Mikhail Massa, am here to help, and I am committed to assisting the entire world of Tata Nzambe. Together, we will reveal the truth and distinguish between the deceptions of witchcraft and the pure, divine spirit of the Most High, the same spirit that built our ancient kingdoms and is now poised to return in power. Pray for me as we embark on this mission to expose the works of the enemy. Like Moses, we will rise and the world will witness the truth. The hatred in this world is directed toward Tata Nzambe's people, not because of their outward appearance, but because of the divine light they carry within. The time is coming when God's people will begin to see again, their spiritual eyes opened to the truth. The restoration is near, and with the spirit of Tata Nzambe guiding us, we will stand against darkness and bring his light to the nations. I hope this helps, and I encourage you to ask older individuals about these topics. Thank you for listening, and we'll meet again soon. Mikhail Massa, subscribe and share.